For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
This is the dark truth of how Suge Knight exposed Keef D and who really dropped Tupac. Suge Knight reveals Tupac's hitman. The identity of the people who pulled the trigger on Tupac the fateful night he was taken out has remained a secret for 27 freaking years. But this unsolved mystery that everyone thought would never be solved has now been exposed by one person, Suge Knight. It was no surprise that Suge Knight revealed the truth of what happened that fateful night, especially since he was driving the vehicle in which Tupac was taken out in.
Tupac Shakur was riding in this black BMW when the gunfire erupted. The car, part of a convoy headed for a nightclub, had stopped in front of the Maxim Hotel. Police say a white Cadillac pulled up next to it, and the four men inside started shooting.
Suge Knight broke his silence from prison after Keef D was arrested and charged with the assassination of Tupac. Suge Knight's reaction to Keef D's arrest wasn't what the authorities hoped to hear after believing they had solved the murder mystery.
Tell me what your reaction is to the arrest of Keefy D.
Well, surprise number one, because I didn't think Keefy D would never get arrested. Nor do I want to see him get arrested. You know, let's get one thing straight, first and foremost.
Back in 2019, Keef D published a memoir where he subtly talked about the night that Tupac was taken out. 4 years after publishing his memoir, on July 17, 2023, police searched Keef D's home where they found a .40 caliber cartridge, the same as the many casings that were recovered from the scene where Tupac was shot and taken out of his glory. With such key evidence at their feet, the authorities took Keef D on a ride in the back seat of a police van. Keef D was arrested and charged with 1 count of open murder with the use of a deadly weapon, further augmented by a gang enhancement. While Keef D's arrest is a big break in solving Tupac's murder, it brings even more confusion to the 27-year-long case due to the conflicting accounts of what really went down that night.
Tupac and Suge's car get all shot up. Was there, and I'd heard different versions of the story, but the one version I heard was that that their entourage started shooting back.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Does anyone from the death row side return fire?
Yes.
Okay. Can you say who that was?
Yeah, he's no longer with us.
The big question remains, did Keef D pull the trigger that took out Tupac Shakur? Only one person knows the exact answer, and that is Suge Knight. Suge Knight has revealed that the authorities know they have the wrong man in custody, so he won't be taking the stand to testify against Keef D in court, even if he is the only surviving eyewitness of the hit.
And you are saying that if you're called to testify by either side, you will not comply, you will not testify. Do I have that right?
1,000%. I wouldn't go, I wouldn't testify, none of that.
In an interview with TMZ, Suge Knight boldly declared, "I'm not going to get on the stand and testify. 1,000% I wouldn't go," leaving no room for doubt. His resolve is clear. He won't be part of any courtroom drama, and he has a message. At the end of the day, free Keef D.
None of that. At the end of the day, free Keefy D.
Suge Knight's reaction to Keef D's arrest wasn't expected. What was the most shocking was the fact that Suge said he was unhappy about Keef D being behind bars.
You know, let's get one thing straight, first and foremost. You know, me and Keefy D played on the same Pop Warner football team. And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement with anything, who want to see? I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
In a bid to save his old-time friend, Suge Knight, who drove the vehicle in which Tupac died, is claiming that he knows who shot Tupac and isn't Keef D. However, Keef D has been incriminating himself for years. Keef D exposes the night of Tupac's murder. Keith D's arrest didn't come as a shock to many, especially since he had always been open about his involvement on that fateful night of Tupac's hit. Heck, the man even made a career out of it. Back in April 2019, Keith D released a tell-all memoir titled Compton Street Legend, where he mentioned that he was one of the men in the car when Tupac was shot.
No, we coming up, what's the name? What's that, Flamingo? Yeah, I think that's Flamingo. We was coming up Flamingo and got to the light. We was gonna go drink and smoke some weed, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
Keith D has given various accounts of the events that transpired on the night Tupac Shakur was shot in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. But his narrations have been very inconsistent over the years. In his account, Keith D claimed to have been in the vehicle on the night Tupac was hit. He said he was riding in a car with Orlando Anderson, Terrence Brown, and DeAndre Smith. Orlando Anderson was a Southside Crip gang member with a notorious feud with Tupac and Death Row Records. In fact, on the very night of Tupac's hit, Tupac and his goons gave Orlando a crazy beatdown just a few hours before he was gunned down. According to Keith D's narrative, tensions were high between Tupac and his entourage and members of the Southside Crips, including Orlando Anderson, after the Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas. As the group drove away from the MGM Grand, Keith D claimed they spotted Tupac and Suge Knight in a BMW at a stoplight. Keith D also claimed that he handed a .40 caliber Glock pistol to Orlando Anderson, who was sitting in the back seat of their vehicle. Keith D alleged that Orlando Anderson leaned out the window and fired multiple shots at Tupac's BMW.
Definitely.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge's head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Based on Keith D's account, he and Suge Knight are the only surviving eyewitnesses to Tupac's assassination, but will they testify and tell the truth? Do you think Keith D has been lying for clout for 27 years? Hit up the comment section and tell us what you think. P.S. Wait till you see who Suge Knight revealed as the hitman. Suge Knight reveals who smoked Tupac. According to the police reports, Keith D was the on-ground, on-site commander and shot caller who ordered the death of Tupac Shakur. The police statements also matched those of a witness who testified before Keith D's arrest. This witness told a Las Vegas grand jury that the person who shot Tupac was DeAndre Big Dre Smith. Smith allegedly sat in the back seat of the car from which the shots were fired. Detectives believe that Orlando Anderson sat next to Smith while Keith D and Terrence Brown were in the front seats. According to the authorities, the drive-by was planned by Keith D as a means to get vengeance on Tupac for beating up Orlando Anderson on the night of Pac's assassination. However, Suge Knight claimed that the authorities were spreading false information.
They seem to be saying that Orlando was the shooter and Keefe was in on it, that he had full knowledge of what was going down, and it was revenge for Orlando getting beaten up by Tupac and his team at the MGM after the Tyson fight. Is that correct?
No.
Then who shot Tupac?
Despite all this evidence against Keith D, Suge Knight, who is serving a 28-year prison sentence for a fatal 2015 hit and run, insisted that Keith D was not the one behind Tupac Shakur's demise. When Suge Knight was asked by TMZ what he thought about Keith D's involvement in the hit, Suge Knight said, "I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy."
And whatever the circumstances, if he had an involvement with anything, if he didn't have any involvement in anything, who want to see, I wouldn't wish somebody going to prison on my worst enemy.
Suge made it really clear that it was not Keith D nor his nephew Orlando that gunned Tupac down on that fateful night.
And I never had nothing bad to say about Orlando because, number one, he wasn't a shooter. Number two, he came to my hearing and told to let me go and told the truth. They still didn't let me go.
Suge Knight knows who really smoked Tupac, but he has zero intentions of snitching. In the interview, he said, "There was only 2 people in the car, and Pac's not going to be able to tell the story, and I ain't gonna tell the story," Knight said.
There was only 2 people in the car, and Pac not finna tell the story. I ain't finna tell the story.
Although Suge Knight was injured during the Tupac hit that night, Suge still insisted that Keith D should be let go. But the district attorney and the court have no plans of letting Keith D go, despite Suge Knight's thoughts. Keith D made his first court appearance for the murder of Tupac on October 9th, 2023. The district attorney revealed that Keith D will be convicted of first-degree murder. So his office is currently insisting on no bail status for Keith D.
Mr. Davis is being held on no bail. That no bail status will continue at least until his next court appearance. We will continue to ask for a no bail setting because we believe under Nevada law and the evidence in this case that the proof is evident and the presumption is great that he will be convicted of first-degree murder, and that allows us to ask for a no bail setting.
Did Orlando really take out Tupac? Orlando Baby Lane Anderson was a main player in the murder of Tupac Shakur, and according to the cops, Keith D was the mastermind, but Orlando was most likely the gunner. According to Keith D, Orlando Anderson and his associates were in another car when they pulled up alongside Tupac's BMW. Orlando Anderson, who was in the vehicle's back seat, fired multiple shots into the BMW, striking Tupac several times.
The DA says that Keith D was in the car with his nephew, and that presumably his nephew, according to the DA, is the one that shot Tupac, and that it was done with the full knowledge of Keith. Do they have it right?
There was only 2 people in the car.
Orlando Anderson became a prime suspect in the murder investigation due to his involvement in the fight with Tupac earlier that evening and the alleged motive for retaliation. However, he was never charged in connection with Tupac's murder. In May 1998, less than 2 years after Tupac's death, Orlando Anderson was taken out in a separate gang incident in Compton, California. His murder further complicated the investigation into Tupac's murder, as he was considered a key figure in the case. But like Suge Knight, a lot of people don't believe Orlando was the one who took out Tupac. Yet his uncle Keith D, who puts this narrative, will be the one to face the consequences. All the juicy details of all rappers and their issues with the law drop on this channel. So subscribe and stay tuned, y'all. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and turn on post notifications.